Hello, 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 my fellow Game Warriors. My name is Game Warrior, and today is going to be Final Thought Friday. Every Friday I like to post a commentary over something in the news, interesting, or really something that matters to me. Now, over the past few days, if you have watched the news, you would have heard about the Malaysian airline that disappeared. At first, everyone thought it was just a crash. Things like this happen from time to time. A plane goes in the air, something goes wrong with the engine, or a fire erupts, and the plane goes down. And that's what we thought. On day one, people were saddened for the victims and their families, and the search for the wreckage began. However, a week has passed since the plane crashed, and at this time I'm doing this commentary. I believe it has been a full 7 days. And now, people are starting to think that something else happened. The media claim two things that make the plane crash seem like something more sinister. Apparently, at a certain point in the flight, without giving any distress signals, someone on board the plane disabled the tracking system. It was now off GPS and radar, and initial reports shown that when the transponder died, the plane crashed. However, other reports say that after the transponder was shut off and its backups were disabled, the plane continued to fly for 5 to 6 hours. And all of this had fueled media and conspiracy theorists alike. Was this not a plane crash? I mean, did someone manage to hijack the plane? Did the captain deliberately divert the course of it? Has the plane landed in China or somewhere else in Asia, and are terrorists flying it now to try to recreate 9/11? Basically, no one knows, and conspiracy theories are flying. Now, sitting where I am today in my nice little house here in Indiana, I don't know what happened to the plane. It could have crashed. The pilot could have changed course. Terrorists could have it. I don't know, and no one knows until the debris are found or the plane is spotted on the ground safe or in the air on a terrorist attack. No one can be sure what happened to it. However, that hasn't stopped the conspiracy theories from flying. Now, why am I bringing this up? You came to this video most likely seeing the title of me talking about aliens today, and I'm bringing this up because the current conspiracy theory catalyst ended up leading me onto a list of other topics. Is Obamacare made to ruin our country intentionally? Did we fake the first moon landing? Does Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster exist? Etc., etc. And as I started reading into the conspiracy theories, I fell into what many people call the internet coma. And I just started reading stuff that I didn't intentionally start out to go for. And in this coma, I found my next topic that I wanted to bring to you today, guys. And that is aliens. I know it's weird. I know it's a random topic to bring up for a Final Thought Friday. But it's a topic we all think about. You know, little green men with 4 eyes and 3 arms, long, slender bodies with feet the size of bowling balls, fingers that reach out in suckers like those on an octopus, creatures from Mars. Do they or do they not exist? And for about a half hour, I read into these conspiracies in particular. Do aliens exist? Are there some in Area 51? Etc., etc. And I really got interested enough to make a commentary today about this said fact. Now, through the power of Google, we can see that some of the first UFO sightings took place in 214 BC. This is written history down here. And since 214 BC, with the first UFO sightings, there have been hundreds of reports made by multiple witnesses, meaning one report made by like a dozen or more people. Now, we all know the stories when it comes to aliens. Papa Redneck sitting on the front porch drinking his moonshine after fighting with his wife. He's probably chewing some tobacco, and lo and behold, he sees a flying saucer come out from the clouds to try to take a few of his cows from his farm. And realistically, these aren't the sightings that are generally recorded. These aren't the sightings that are generally deemed quote-unquote credible. They're not kept around for a very long time. But people across the globe for centuries have looked to the sky and spotted things they could not explain. I mean, how can 1,000 people or thousands of people, really, from the 1800s across the continent of Africa, witness an object as bright as the sun descend and shake, and all of them be wrong? How can people in Asia, hundreds and hundreds of people in Asia in the 1800s watch as something flies across their sky before air travel is around? And one may note that these could be explained in one form or another. It could be gas, it could be a comet, it could be this or that. But really think of it. Throughout history, there are hundreds of credible reports. These reports made from groups of dozens or more witnesses. Thousands of reports of UFOs made by groups of 5 or more. What are the chances that every single one of these is wrong? How often is it said that when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth? So how is it possible that millions of people can be wrong? How can a million people across 2,000 years of recorded history be wrong about aliens or UFOs every single time? The odds aren't there. And from hearing me say this, you might say that I believe in aliens 100%. However, I do have my doubts just as much as anyone else. I believe, though, that in the universe we live in, that there is life out there. It exists. It's just odds. How can there be all of all of the planets, all the moons, all the stars, all the comets and stuff? How can there be all that and we be the only thing? However, I don't know what kind of life it is. Is it intelligent? Is it humanoid, sentient, or is it bacteria, plant life, or moss? I just don't know. But have aliens visited Earth? That's another question, and really, I don't know. It is hard to believe that a million people imagine seeing something fly through the air, saw an alien walking by his ship, or witness a spacecraft flying off into the distance. As a member of the human race, it is hard for me to believe that a million people tricked themselves into seeing something that they thought was from another world. But at the same time, I know how stupid we are. How many people followed Hitler? How many people buy the crap the North Korean leaders spreads on them every day like butter? How many people believed at one point that the color of their skin made them a better person? How many people today care about Honey Boo Boo? How many people today try to keep up with the Kardashians? Honestly, the human race does not have the best track record for intelligence. So is it possible that all of the UFO sightings, millions throughout 2,000 years of history, is it possible that all of those are false? Yes, it is possible. Do I believe it? I honestly don't know. But going into my final thought for this Final Thought Friday, I believe that there is something else out there. I believe that one day a satellite or something else will discover life on another planet. Is it Mars? Is it even in our galaxy? I don't know. But I do believe that there is something. From a tree to a shrub to a fungus to a green man, I think that there is something out there. But I believe that we, as the human race, don't necessarily know why we want this so much. I believe that we as the human race want something else to be out there. We are a culture of beings that have some self-awareness, and we understand that we have truly destroyed everything good that has come upon our planet. We are killing the tigers and melting the polar bears. I can't even talk. We have rapists walk free while the innocents are sentenced to death. The wealthy live in luxury while their fellow man beg for scraps in the street. We are leaving our children with a future in which they will have to fight to survive, as we curse our elders for standing in our way. Humans look to the future while forgetting our past, and in turn desire to bring greatness by using failed tactics of the past. The human race is self-centered, self-destructive, and slowly and surely leading itself down a one-way path to self-annihilation. And we all know it. We all know how messed up we are. We know we are a race beyond saving because of recent events. Instead of worrying or mourning the victims of those that have most likely died in the Malaysian airline plane, instead of praying for the dead, we hope that something more evil is work. The media pushes terrorism, devious plot, and threatens further death and destruction. And instead of thinking that none of this can be true, We as a human race know that at our heart the human race is deprived of enough good or any sense of, well, humanity, that the worst, that this plane has been hijacked, it's in terrorist hands, that worst is no longer the worst, it is now simply the norm. Because no longer is the norm, it was a plane crash and it was sad. Now we can see that evil people could have took control of that plane. And because of this, we hope there is something else. We hope there are men on Mars or women on Venus, because we believe that maybe they could help us. Maybe they could stop us from the path that we are on, because we know we can't. We hope that there is life somewhere other than where we exist, because we hope their life is better than ours, and that maybe, just maybe, we can learn to live like them. Have a good day.